adopting you.
Hi, I'm Julia, and this is Apricot Story for GeoBeats. So I was volunteering in Ghana, and one day a little boy brought this puppy and said that he had found her in the gutter. She was very sick, full of worms in her stomach. We drove 3 hours into the city, and we took her to the vet.
Baby.
That was the best one yet.
That was good.
Anytime I'd sit down, she'd come sit on my lap. You could just tell that there was some connection between us that she didn't have with anyone else. As the weeks started to go by, I was like, talked to my mom, and I was like, maybe we could actually do something to get her home. So we did some research. It was very hard because Ghana is a high-risk rabies country.
Hi.
The dog has to go through a lot to get to America. It has to be 6 months of quarantine. They have to be at least 6 months old, and she was 2 weeks old. My family decided we were gonna go through with this. The vet was like, we have a boarding facility here. We're willing to keep her here for 6 months if you just pay by the day. We decided to do that.
Bye.
I flew home. I'm in college, so I was at school waiting to then fly back to Ghana in December and pick her up. We would get periodic FaceTime calls, and it was hard to see. She's in a cage, but it was our only option. Finally, 6 months go by. I fly back to Ghana. She was waiting there for me. You could just tell she was full of excitement. Flying home was very hard because only 2 airlines really allowed dogs to go under cargo because she was now too big to be in the plane. I was 18 at the time. I just turned 18. I'm doing this all by myself. I'm talking to the people in the airport, like, can you make sure she's on the connecting flight? They were like, we're gonna do our best. We put an air tag on her, but there was no connection. It was just crazy. We got on the layover. I actually almost missed the flight because I had all this paperwork. The layover wasn't long enough. They're like paging me in the airport. Like, Apricot's on the plane and I'm not on the plane. I'm like, all right, like, I gotta get on this plane. You guys gotta let me on. It was just crazy stressful. Like, I'm calling my mom. My mom's so stressed out, obviously. But finally, we get on the plane. Flight home from Togo to Washington was about 13 hours. And then when we arrived in Washington, D.C., she stayed at the clinic for 3 nights to make sure she's able to be released and doesn't have anything. So that whole journey from end to end was 4 days straight. When I was with her in Ghana, she never had these spots. So we don't really know where that came from. We did a DNA test. It just came back as 100% West African village dog. You can tell she needs to feel warm all the time. She'll sleep under blankets. She will never be sleeping with nothing under her.
Are you eating the snow?
The snow was definitely interesting for her. She was like eating it and she didn't know what to do. If we're on a walk, it's always like, oh my God, she looks like a deer. She's been through more in her life than most dogs, in her 2 years of life, than most dogs will ever be in their entire life.